Gooners all over the world. It has been a long time since I last sat here and did this and spoke about an Arsenal game. And you know what? I haven't missed it as much as I thought I would, but I am glad to be back. Seeing Arsenal out there playing again, and especially with a few new signings, makes all the difference in terms of building that excitement for the new season. And listen, it was nice to see Arsenal win, though I don't need to tell you, you're a wise enough crowd to know pre-season friendlies don't mean anything. Look, recently Man United beat Liverpool 4-0. I mean, who would you rather be, Man United or Liverpool heading into next season? So Arsenal beat an Everton team 2-0 today, and an Everton team that turned up as what looked to me like a typical old school English team. And I don't mean that in a good way. Seemed like their team talk before the game was, let them have it, let's be physical from minute one, and all of that ancient style of thinking where it seemed like it was all about the physicality, nothing about the technical. And in a pre-season game, I think they got the balance wrong. I really do. It wasn't a surprise to me that there were two sort of little handbags brawls during the game. And for me, they were always led by Arsenal players getting a bit annoyed by what Everton were doing. So really it stems from Everton being a bit overzealous. You just don't expect it. There was nothing that was that crazy that happened in the game. But, you know, I just kind of feel like Everton, it was just an odd approach for me. And in a Premier League game, whatever happened there probably wouldn't have led to that sort of crowd of players. But in a friendly, you're not expecting people to be a certain way. So anyway, I think it's just a typical old school English mentality. And Everton, to me, with that in mind and the way they play the game, they're so basic. It's funny because I remember when Frank Lampard, before he got into management, he did some punditry. And I actually, even though, listen, he's an ex-Chelsea legend, right? It's not exactly, I'm not going to have posters of him on my wall, am I? But I was objective enough to say that actually I thought he was a brilliant pundit. And I thought the way he came across and communicated his footballing analysis and ideas was really good and really clear. And as a pundit, I looked at him and I thought to myself, do you know what? He might make a good manager. But from what I've seen of him in management, this is it. I mean, it's just very unimpressive. Today, listen, I'm no sort of like person that parrots the whole trust the process thing. I think Mikel Arteta's a good manager. But personally, I have my reservations as to whether he'll lead us right to title wins and that sort of thing. But from what I saw in that game today, I just think to myself, Mikel Arteta is definitely a better manager than Frank Lampard. Just for me, there's just no debate. And I'm not just basing it on this game alone. It's a pre-season friendly. It's meaningless. But I just think that from what I've seen in their respective careers, Mikel Arteta seems to come to the table with ideas, with a real style of playing, whilst, Frank Lampard is just sort of let him have it sort of mentality. Anyway, let's focus on the game a little bit more. Usually, I would be in America by now. I would have flown out a few days ago. I'd be making a holiday out of it. And right now, I'm not, because I've got a 16-month-old boy sleeping upstairs and my priorities have obviously had to change. And listen, I couldn't be any happier. Love being a parent, love being a father. But watching that game today, I did think to myself, oh man, this time last year I would have been there. But as the game progressed, and especially the second half, my God, it's late for Arsenal fans watching this. What's the time right now? It's 2:15. So the game finished at around 2 a.m. England time. And people will be staying up watching that game. That second half was a snooze fest. I can't remember Matt Turner being called into action. I can't remember Arsenal even having forcing a save from the Everton keeper. Second half was awful, but Arsenal did the business in the first half. And in the first half, actually, there were a few moments that Everton had as well. But ultimately, I think our quality showed throughout the game. We were much better. And we have to talk about Gabriel Jesus, because he was absolutely brilliant, in his 45 minutes. He obviously got the goal. Before that, he was sharp, alive, pressing a lot. And you know what? It's no surprise to me, because I've watched Man City. I've watched him play for Man City. And you know exactly what you're going to get with him. Real high energy and brilliant pressing. But what I found interesting was, is he going to do it in a pre-season game? Maybe is because he's at a new club and he wants to set a good impression with the fans and that sort of thing that he was doing it. But he really did press very well and with intensity and a lot of heat, let's not forget, in America right now in July. And I just think to myself, is it because it's him at a new club trying to set a good impression? Or is it just because that's just what he does? He probably plays like that in his garden against his kids, if he's got kids, I don't even know. But he just seems like that sort of character. A bit Alexis Sanchez-like, where, just constantly wanting to win whatever battle he's in that moment in time, not thinking too much about the fact that, I can go easy today or I can do this. I love what I see from him. I really do. And what Gabriel Jesus showed me today just kind of reminded me of what I felt so many times last season, that my God, we were lacking in that department last season in terms of energy and agility and dynamism and pressing. Lacazette was awful, absolutely awful last season. And I'm really, really looking forward to watching Arsenal play this season with a live wire up top. That is going to make so much difference. And also, I really think it will raise Nketiah's level. Eddie Nketiah is going to absolutely have to justify his new contract and also not be sort of playing second fiddle to Gabriel Jesus. He's going to have to step up and basically show a lot of talent that I know he actually has. But unfortunately, in the first team, he hasn't shown it enough times. So hopefully, on both fronts, the new striker and our existing striker sign a new contract, both of them will step up. And the reason I say that about the new striker, Gabriel Jesus, as well, is because he was not the main man at Man City. But he's coming in as a 25-year-old with plenty of Premier League experience on a big money move, 45 million quid. And people are going to be looking to him to do the business. I hope that he's the sort of player who steps up now and basically accepts the tag of being the main man. He needs to do that. And if he does that, Arsenal could have a real gem on their hands. Now, the other person who's everyone's eyes were on today was William Saliba. And I just thought he dealt with things just as he did all of last season in Liga and just looked very, very comfortable. Very excited to see what happens with Gabriel, Ben White and Saliba, because I think there's a case to say that Saliba could be potential-wise perhaps better than the other two. But I don't think he'll just walk into the team and dislodge them. I think he's kind of got to earn that to an extent, because White and Gabriel last season were okay. They were good. They were fairly decent. But very happy with Saliba. Very happy with that new shiny striker who I thought just did so well in that game. And also, the one thing that I was really hoping for today that I wanted to see was Matt Turner in terms of his distribution and also him being tested. But unfortunately, I don't think, because Everton didn't put up much of a fight, I don't think we really could make any conclusions from Matt Turner. I have to be honest, I'm not confident going into next season knowing that we're a Ramsdale injury away from having him in the team for God knows how long. And I was really hoping to try and build on the lack of confidence I have. But unfortunately, we weren't able to do that today, which is probably a good thing in the sense that Arsenal obviously held their own in the game, and especially defensively where he didn't have to do too much. But until I can start taking confidence from some performances from Matt Turner, I'm going to be nervous heading into next season. Let me know in the comments below how you feel about Matt Turner as potentially our first choice backup. I know Leno's still at the club, but I expect surely by the time the season starts he would have left, or by the time the transfer window shuts, Bernd Leno would have left. I'm very comfortable with Bernd Leno. In fact, I think last season when he came into the team at times, he did really well. Matt Turner less so, but I'd love to know you guys and your comments on how you feel about Matt Turner. Also, let me know man of the match. Who was it for you? For me, obviously Gabriel Jesus, and I looking forward to the next game. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the next game we might see the debut of our brand new black kit, which looks like an absolute beauty. So that's another thing to look out for. Listen, until then, enjoy the hot weather, stay hydrated, stay safe and all of that stuff, and up the Arsenal. See you next time.